Hi and welcome. So this time around we've got a cooperative project with another YouTube channel, Junkyard Doggs. And that channel is dedicated to using recycled performance parts to build a race car. You definitely should check it out. I'll put a link down below. So this time we've got a pulley that we need to make an adapter for so that we can put an additional belt on and match up. So we're going to take this piece of material and machine it down to fit on this pulley. And we still have not got the exact design locked down, but we're going to be discussing that very shortly, and we'll get on to the machining part. And we're probably going to put a boss inside here to line the part up with, so it'll be concentric with the shaft here. So let's just get going. All right, so we got this guy indicated in here. We're going off the shaft inside, and we're within about 1,000th. And there's a key in it, so I can't spin it. And when you reverse it, it just moves the indicator a little bit. So we're within 1,000th, and we'll check by eye also once we start to rotate. All right, we got this guy dialed in. It's concentric about the shaft point. The rest wobbles a little because it's rough cut or not at all. So we're going to go in as little as we can radially, but we just want to go in a 1/2 inch and get a nice clean concentric boss that we can have our part align with. That's where we're headed. So there's my X0. And I'm only double checking things because I really don't want.
Right.
Yeah, I did.
Of course, man. I don't question your process.
Oh, this is your part. I do not want to screw it up. When I do other people's stuff, like my own stuff, I make a mistake pretty much every time I make something. Other people's parts, I do not want to. All right, well, this is heavily interrupted. Hopefully this won't break the part. We'll try 50. Yeah, let's try 25 thousandths. I'm just going for the high spot right now, so we'll see.
Catch.
All right, so that was first pass. Let's see what we got here. So 25 thousandths depth of cut, just caught one side a little bit.
Ah, wow, okay.
So it looks like we're going to go for a bit more. 50 thousandths, we're almost there.
Yeah, it is.
All right, one more. Maybe we can get it. Yeah, it's continuous. So we got about a 1/4 inch of continuous. How do you feel about that? Yeah. Otherwise, I have to go in more.
Yeah, because really, what this purpose of this is.
All right, there we go. Yeah, that's almost the entire thing is going to be clean now. Okay, I think we're good. That looks like most of it.
Oh, that's close to it. All right. Good old cat. Look at that. The powder.
All right, let's face off this guy.
You see all the different shades and everything, and then it just turns flat. I know I'm weird.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And if I'm not getting a good surface finish, I'm really unhappy.
Yeah, it bothers you, right? That's why I didn't even want to work on my lathe. I was like, look, you see what happened to mine when I tried to do it? It was all lines on. I'm like, I just took it out.
All right, now we're going to take longitudinal material off to get this to that 3.75 magic number. We've got 50 thousandths material take off. We're going to start with 15 just to get a better measurement because I'm measuring across scale, so I don't want to risk getting a high spot.
Right.
And I don't think we're making it completely under the scale.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, so that did not clean up all the way. Yep, just
I was right around.
Yep.
Well, they always are.
Yep.
Just a little bit. They try their
So
best.
let's go in and another, let's make it 30. We have a total of 50 to play with, so hopefully, what am I doing here?
Wow. Shining. It's got a little spot from it.
Yes, it does. Let's not get on that little spot here. Uh, 3.759. So
wow.
we've got 9 thousandths more we could take off. Perfect. Good. It shouldn't. So if it does, that would be unfortunate. I'm glad it doesn't. That means I'm measured correctly.
Right.
Some of those chips are lighting up. We have the outside dimension correct that fits over fits inside the pulley properly with a snug fit, although because it's a casting it's a little bit of bell mouth, so it does catch at least the bottom 1/4 inch evenly. So next we're going to take this into 2.37, so we have to go in about 1 inch all the way around because I'm pushing on the end of this really long slug, so
Yeah.
I don't want to. I never called a slug before you.
Huh?
I got a new word. See, I never called a slug before you.
Oh, yes, I can think of this one. Stop Tech says, yeah, all American made. Where did these slugs come from? China. You guys are perpetrating the fraud, man.
I'm only doing 25 thousandths passes. I didn't want to push too hard way out here.
Yeah.
Well, this stuff really is flammable like steel wool. I'm undercutting the corner so that we can go all the way in.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it won't be able to sit flat.
That's right.
I might be 1,000th over, but again, that thing wasn't round, so I took multiple measurements. Hopefully, we're.
I think that, like I said, Ford was not the most accurate. You know, we're talking Ferrari numbers. Oh, baby.
All right, so here's a test fit.
Oops. Sorry, guys. My stomach from shaking. All right.
So we got it sticks up a little bit because he's gonna weld this part on once the final assembly's done. Next up, we're going to drill a 1/2 inch hole down the center so I can attach this to an arbor so I can face the other side at least a little bit when we're done.
First off, this I really love seeing this.
But we're going to open that hole up even more when we're done, right? Because you want it You just want a little outside edge to catch. Next up, we're going to take off 1/2 inch of material. Actually, I'm going 6/10 and we'll face down to 1/2 inch. So we've mounted the piece backwards on an arbor so we can take down most of the material. We're just facing it off. Then we're going to bore out the center to create as much, to make it as light as possible while still being able to function. I think I'm liking that finish. Until it starts throwing, yeah, you would. Scratch that beautiful surface. All right, so we're boring out the center. Just trying to remove the meat of the material here. It's a nice sharp drill bit. Oh no. No, no.
Not too much.
It caught on the exit chip. Oh, gosh,
yeah, I
damn
forgot
it.
about that.
And it scored up that whole thing. Fortunately, you're going to weld on that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So the lesson that we learned today was when taking heavy cuts, we need a lot more holes. Or no, heavy drilling needs a lot more holes. I wonder if there's an equation for that.
This is the one that's a frickin' mess.
Drop in there, huh? Oh, that's how they do that. I just learned something today.
Oh,
You realize
oh, so sad.
Yeah, I know.
Jaws chewed up the out when it spun.
I saw it.
Here's the adapter in place. So this is the top pulley. This is the base pulley assembly. This is a very tight fitting part. So what I've done is put some Dykem on the back, and you got to get this thing lined up just right or it will not go in. There we go. And we're going to flip it over and use this transfer punch for these threaded holes here to find the bolt pull circle position through here. And we're going to mark it, and then we're going to go drill those holes, and then we should be done. By the way, in case you were wondering, this part here, this brand new part, is actually not a brand new part. This is actually a used part that has been sandblasted and painted. It looks like a freaking new part. When he brought it, I thought it was new for sure. He says, nope, that's a recycled part that's been cleaned up and made ready to use. So there you go. So my partner here is going to be marking these spots, and one of the holes is slightly different size, so he's going to gently tap with a drill bit. Fortunately, we have a bunch of Dykem on the other side, so shouldn't take the mark pretty easily without having to put a big dent in it. All right.
Cool.
Guest machinist working the machines, helping me out here. Gives me a chance to shoot this from different angles. Working on the last hole. All right, so here's the final assembly. So we got the 3 holes down here, and actually Tony did all the work and lined them up. Got them so perfectly. We drilled them 8.5 millimeter instead of the 8 millimeter that they are. Didn't need to because they fit perfectly. So we first machined this guy concentric with the shaft hole, and then these 3 line up with the 3 below it, and then the second pulley just sits slightly proud of this surface by 25 thousandths, and he's gonna attach this guy, and he's gonna drill all the way through so that those bolts come through this, and he's gonna bolt that plate all the way through, and so that's what's gonna hold it down. So here's the final assembly with the second pulley. It was an excellent project. Go check out Junkyard Dog. He's got a great channel, and I love the idea of recycling found parts and recovered parts out of yards and wherever else he finds them. It's pretty cool building a car from other than new parts, because that's where most people would go. It's been an excellent time, sort of a shared experience. So one of my more enjoyable machining jobs. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.